guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for the Amazing Spider-Man issue 12. And before I start talking about this issue, I just want to say I do have Comic Uno episode 145 annotated, and that's a show where I review all the comics I've read this week in one show. And I'm trying something different. I have all the exclusive comics in the description, so go ahead and check those out if you want. But let's start talking about the Amazing Spider-Man issue 12. Now, I will say, starting this review out, I have not been impressed with this volume of Amazing Spider-Man, as I usually am. I really didn't like the Scorpio Zodiac storyline, which really was a heavy part of the first half of what we've been reading with the Amazing Spider-Man volume, whatever we're up to now. But I was excited for this issue because, again, it's a new arc from last issue. The whole Zodiac thing is kind of left behind for at least a year. And here we see Mary Jane, we have the Avengers, who else? We have Regent. I'm like, these are really exciting stories, especially as a Mary Jane fan, as you guys know. I think I have a poster somewhere. Big, huge Mary Jane fan. I was excited to see her returning to the pages of The Amazing Spider-Man. So, let's see what's going on. Love the cover. I will say it's a tiny bit misleading, though. You do get to see Regent, you see Mary Jane, which was the parts I wanted the most. But if you're expecting the all-new, all-different Avengers, they don't really pop up that much here. It's mostly Iron Man, and then being in the last page of this issue. So that's a bit of a misleading portion of the cover. But everything else actually happened, and usually with these type of covers, that's kind of surprising. Sometimes they're a bit misleading. But let's start talking about the artwork. Now I will say, because we usually get, I always pronounce his last name wrong. Comencoli. Usually with his artwork, he's been pretty much doing all the art for, the Amazing Spider-Man this volume. There's usually not, another artist doing the book. Now, I will say, I really like his artwork for the actual Spider-Man, Iron Man, the superhero stuff. I really like his costume designs there. Even though the Blast, I feel, could have had a little bit more detail in the fight to kind of see more action, but I really like his costume designs. Here's another good example of that. I like that. Problem I do have with the art is some of the human aspect of it, the facial expressions. I think some of the characters have a bit too much of cheekbones, and then the eyes look really small, so I don't love the facial expressions of a lot of our characters, especially Peter, and then Mary Jane looked okay. Kind of wish she had a little bit more detail in her face also, so I'm not loving the facial expressions in the book, but it's not bad artwork. I think, again, the action worked very well with the issue. But let's see what's going on with the story. So, like I said, this is a return of Mary Jane. You just saw that panel. And it's Peter doing a foundation gala for the Ben Parker Foundation. And he does not expect Mary Jane to be there, but in this issue, he learns that Mary Jane is working for Tony Stark, and even when he's giving his speech, he can't really get that out of his head. He's like, why is she working with him? So, of course, every single time, it's Mary Jane kind of surprising him. It's like, hey, I'm here, just like she surprised him at Aunt May's wedding, like, years ago. Now it's been. But also, like I said, Iron Man's at the party, so we kind of have this random villain that seems connected to Liz Allen, who calls himself the Ghost, attacking Peter and this whole gala. So it's Iron Man and Spider-Man teaming up, and that's most of the issue. And then in the end, we do get to see the appearance of Regent and what is Regent 616 origins and exactly what his plan's all about, because he made an appearance at the gala, and interestingly enough, Mary Jane noticed him and says, oh, do I know you from somewhere? So that questions like, oh, what happened to Mary Jane of, the Secret Wars, Renew Your Vows story? Is it somehow connected to the 616 Mary Jane? But yeah, the Regent stuff was really interesting. I'm excited to see that half of the arc, and it seems like that's going to be a big part of this current arc. And my favorite part of this issue is it just kind of goes back to the roots of Spider-Man. I think that's what's been missing with the Amazing Spider-Man, for me at least, is that I didn't really care that he was a big businessman, that, I'm okay with change with, my favorite heroes. I just want the essence of that character to still be the same. And That's what that was missing. It was the friendly neighborhood aspect of Spider-Man. And now you got that here. Even though Ghost wasn't like the best villain ever, it was still the opportunity for him to team up with Iron Man and do more superheroics. But the big opportunity was to have these supporting characters have a story again. Like Harry was in this issue, and you kind of see him, he's changing his identity. He sees Liz again. How's that interaction going? And then Liz, her continuing this villainous path, which I really hope they do something with, because they've been teasing that since Superior Spider-Man. And then of course Mary Jane, what's been going on with her, with Tony, and then them obviously still having a connection, them having that past, but them diverging into their own paths at the same time, and what Peter's thinking of that. Obviously we don't really get to see what Mary Jane thinks, but maybe another story we will. So I enjoyed it a lot. I like that, Mary Jane was kind of able to save the day a little bit too, with Harry, try to save some of the civilians. Thought that was cool. So yeah, it's the little things I enjoyed, and I hope we get to see more of the supporting cast, because again, that kind of makes Amazing Spider-Man for me also, and it was really proven with this issue, and I'm excited to see more Regent. I know in the next couple issues we're going to see Iron Spider, Mary Jane. How's that going to happen? They make a reference to Iron Spider in this issue too. You kind of figure what happened right before One More Day, because obviously Mary Jane and Peter weren't married. So Peter was living in Avengers Mansion, and you get to see some of the background information of that time that was wiped away because of One More Day. So really interesting stuff in this issue, and I gotta say, this was my pick of the week. It was the best issue I read this week. Again, I was just really happy to see Amazing Spider-Man going back on track, and hopefully it could continue on this track, and I'm excited to see where this arc goes. So I gave this 4 stars. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.